In episode 20 of Arafta, Merkan suddenly looks straight at Ateş and asks the question he least expects. Is he jealous of Nizar because of her? The words strike Ateş like a blow. His heart stutters, his thoughts scatter. In that instant, he understands something with brutal clarity. He did not come here for love. He came for revenge. And the idea that he might lose himself to emotion, that he might fall in love and surrender to it, is unbearable. He cannot accept it. That is why, despite loving Merkan with his entire being, Ateş refuses to admit it even to himself. Coldly, he answers that he has never been jealous of Merkan. He claims his concern has nothing to do with feelings, that it is only because she carries his surname, only about his honor. The words cut deeply. Hurt and furious, Merkan tells him that nothing else could be expected from a man so heartless, and that she should have understood this from the very beginning. She turns to leave, but after a few steps she stops. He turns back. No matter what Ateş thinks of her, she says, she wants him to know the truth. The bracelet was bought for Demet. Nizar only asked for her opinion. No matter what Ateş believes, this is the truth, and it will not change. With that, Merkan walks away. Her words linger, echoing in Ateş's mind. Doubt creeps in. He is left alone with thoughts he cannot silence. Still burning with anger, Merkan storms down the company corridor, ignoring everyone in her path, and enters her office. Moments later, Ateş follows with the same tense determination and disappears into his own office. He stops by the window, staring out, rigid and distant. The employees notice immediately. The expressions on both their faces say everything. Whispers ripple quietly through the office. As Ateş stands by the window, Seml enters. He asks if that state has passed. Ateş answers bluntly. It hasn't. Seml looks at him with a knowing expression and a faint smile. Catching it, Ateş snaps at him not to give advice, not to say a word. He adds that he can already tell what Seml is about to say just by looking at his face. Seml responds calmly. Even if I stay silent, he asks, will your heart fall silent too? Ateş says nothing, only meets his gaze. Seml continues softly. Even without words, he understands Ateş perfectly. And the silence between them says everything Ateş cannot. Seml tells Ateş that he has thrown himself into the middle of a great war, one that will only grow more dangerous with time. On one side stand his feelings, on the other his thirst for revenge. Seml admits he doesn't know which of the two will prevail. But there is one thing he knows for certain. Ateş hates losing. And yet, in this war, no matter which path he chooses, no matter what he does, the one who will lose will still be Ateş himself. Confused and unsettled, Ateş turns towards Seml, not fully understanding what he means. Seml then suggests quietly but firmly that perhaps Ateş should abandon this war altogether, walk away before it consumes him. Ateş pauses. He exhales heavily, as if the weight of the thought presses down on him. Then he answers with certainty. He has no right to walk away. He cannot forget why he came here, and he never will. Gathering his resolve, he adds that nothing can make him abandon his goal. Anything that stands in his way he will destroy, even if it means breaking everything around him. Seml listens, then responds calmly. Perhaps, he says, Ateş will destroy every obstacle. But there is one thing he cannot simply crush. His heart. And how does Ateş plan to control that? Seml reaches out and presses a finger lightly against Ateş's chest. Ateş recoils sharply. If that heart gets in his way, he snaps, he will tear it out and destroy even that. Seml looks at him with quiet pity and says nothing. Trying to reclaim control, Ateş adds that he does not have the feelings Seml believes he does. He claims that all he wanted was to make Merkan happy, nothing more. Understanding that Ateş is not ready to face the truth, Seml apologizes softly for interfering and leaves him alone. Left by himself, Ateş is confronted by his own thoughts. Am I really jealous of Merkan? The question terrifies him. He immediately shakes his head, rebuking himself. No, no, that can't be. At the same moment, in her own office, Merkin paces restlessly from one end of the room to the other. Anger mixes with regret as she scolds herself for letting her emotions take control, for allowing Ateş to see what she should have kept hidden. Merkin speaks aloud to the empty room, her voice edged with bitterness. Can someone without feelings even experience jealousy? Just then, Yasar enters her office and informs her that her phone has been repaired, but the messages could not be recovered. The loss unsettles Merkan. Those missing messages feel like yet another thing taken from her without explanation. Moments later, Demet walks in. She immediately notices Merkan's strained expression and asks what's wrong. Merkan admits that the misunderstanding between her and Ateş still hasn't been resolved. Demet suggests they should make peace, but Merkan shakes her head. Reaching an agreement with Ateş, she says, is impossible. Meanwhile, Ateş instructs Zaid to cancel all his scheduled meetings for the next few days and not to arrange any new ones. As Zaid leaves, Ateş's gaze drifts, against his will, toward Merkan's office. He sees her talking with Demet. A bitter thought crosses his mind. While I'm trying to make you happy, how could you turn to Nizar? Sensing his stare, Merkan deliberately smiles and continues her conversation, as if nothing is wrong. At that exact moment, Nizar walks past Ateş and heads straight for Merkan's office. He approaches her chair, rests his hand on its back, leans in slightly, and joins the conversation with Merkan and Demet. Ateş feels anger surge through him. Nizar never misses an opportunity to get close to her, he thinks. And in the end, the one who will lose is him. Noticing the way Nizar stands behind her chair, Merkan carefully watches Ateş's reaction. His fury boils over. He takes an impulsive step toward her office, then suddenly remembers her question. Are you jealous of Nizar because of me? Ateş freezes. The struggle on his face is unmistakable. Both Merkan and Nizar see how hard he is fighting to restrain himself. For a few tense seconds, Ateş stares at them with raw anger, then abruptly turns away and retreats to his office. Before closing, I'd like to remind you, if you haven't watched the earlier episodes of the series yet, be sure to check out the previous videos on my channel. And if you want to be the first to learn what happens next, stay with me. See you in the next video. Take care of yourselves.